She slammed the door so hard the framed family photos rattled on the wall, her grandmother's words echoing like thunder. "You're not like this, Emily. It's just a phase." Tears streaming down her face, Emily collapsed onto her bed in the dim Brooklyn apartment, clutching a photo of the girl who had just kissed her goodbye forever. Or so it seemed. But as the city lights flickered outside her window, a deeper storm was brewing. One that would unravel generations of hidden truths. Emily Harper had always felt like an outsider in her own skin, growing up in the heart of suburban Connecticut, where white picket fences hid more secrets than they revealed. Her grandmother, Eleanor Harper, was the matriarch of the family, a stern, silver-haired woman who ruled with an iron fist wrapped in Southern charm, even though she'd moved north decades ago after marrying into Yankee money. Eleanor had raised Emily after her parents' tragic car accident, when she was just 10, instilling values of tradition, church, and proper womanhood. But Emily's heart had other plans. It started innocently enough in her senior year at Yale. She met Scout Rivera, a fiery journalism major with cropped dark hair, tattoos peeking from her sleeves, and eyes that sparkled like the Hudson River at dusk. Scout was everything Emily wasn't. Bold, unapologetic, and openly queer. Their first encounter was in a crowded lecture hall during a debate on LGBTQ rights. Emily, sitting quietly in the back, felt a pull she couldn't explain when Scout stood up and passionately argued against conversion therapy. "Love isn't a choice, it's a right," Scout declared, her voice cutting through the room like a beacon. After class, Emily approached her, stammering about how inspiring the speech was. Scout grinned, her dimples deepening. "Thanks. Want to grab coffee? I could use a break from all this straight-laced academia." That coffee turned into late-night walks along the New Haven Green, sharing stories of dreams and fears. Emily confessed her confusion, the way she'd always felt drawn to girls but pushed it down, fearing her grandmother's wrath. Scout listened, her hand gently covering Emily's, and in that moment something ignited. Their relationship blossomed in secret, stolen kisses in dimly lit bars, weekend trips to the city where they could blend into the anonymity of Manhattan's crowds. Emily felt alive for the first time, her world expanding beyond the rigid expectations of her upbringing. But secrets have a way of festering, and Eleanor's suspicions grew. She noticed Emily's late nights, the way her phone lit up with messages from that Rivera girl. One evening, over a tense dinner of pot roast and mashed potatoes, Eleanor's specialty, she confronted her. "Emily, darling, I've been hearing things about you and that friend of yours." Eleanor's voice was laced with disapproval, her fork clinking against the china plate. Emily's heart raced. "Grandma, Scout is just a friend. We're studying together." But Eleanor wasn't fooled. "I raised you better than this. The Bible says." Emily cut her off, her voice trembling. "The Bible says a lot of things, Grandma, but it doesn't define who I love." The argument escalated, Eleanor's face flushing with anger. She insisted Emily see a counselor at church, someone who could help sort out these confusions. Emily refused, storming out into the crisp autumn air. Back in her dorm, she called Scout, sobbing. "She wants to fix me like I'm broken." Scout's voice was steady on the other end. "You're not broken, Em. You're perfect. We'll figure this out together." As weeks turned to months, the pressure mounted. Eleanor cut off Emily's allowance, hoping financial strain would bring her back in line. Emily took a part-time job at a local bookstore, stacking shelves while dreaming of a life free from judgment. Scout supported her, introducing her to a community of queer friends in the city. Artists, activists, everyday people living authentically. For the first time, Emily saw a future where she didn't have to hide. But betrayal lurked in the shadows. Emily's cousin Sarah, whom she'd confided in during a family gathering, whispered secrets to Eleanor. Sarah, jealous of Emily's independence and struggling with her own failed marriage, saw an opportunity to curry favor with the family elder. "Grandma, I think Emily's in trouble," Sarah said over tea one afternoon. "She's involved with a woman." Eleanor's eyes narrowed, her resolve hardening. The confrontation came on a rainy November night. Emily returned home for Thanksgiving break, only to find Eleanor waiting with a suitcase packed. "You're going to a retreat, Emily. It's for your own good." The retreat was a thinly veiled conversion camp in upstate New York, disguised as a spiritual wellness center. Emily's blood ran cold. "You can't make me go," she shouted. But Eleanor, with tears in her eyes, replied, "I love you too much to let you destroy yourself." Emily fled, grabbing her keys and driving straight to Scout's apartment in Brooklyn. They held each other through the night, whispering promises of a new life. "We'll move to the West Coast," Scout said. "Start fresh." But deep down, Emily felt the weight of family ties pulling her back. How could she abandon the woman who raised her, even if that love came with chains? The drama intensified when Eleanor suffered a mild heart attack, blamed on the stress of Emily's lifestyle. Hospital visits were fraught with tension, Eleanor's frail hand gripping Emily's. "Come home, child. Let me help you." Emily wavered, her love for Scout clashing with guilt. Scout understood, but the strain showed. "I can't keep being your secret," she said one evening, her voice breaking. As Christmas approached, Emily made a choice. She invited Scout to a family dinner, determined to come out fully. The table was set with Eleanor's famous ham and pies, the air thick with anticipation. When Emily introduced Scout as her girlfriend, silence fell like snow. Sarah smirked, Eleanor paled. "This is not my house," Eleanor whispered. But her voice cracked with something deeper: regret? The evening ended in chaos, with Eleanor retreating to her room, clutching an old photo album. In the weeks following the disastrous dinner, Emily and Scout's relationship teetered on the edge. Scout, patient but weary, suggested therapy, not for conversion but for couples. "We need to build something solid, Em. Away from all this family drama." They found a counselor in Greenwich Village, a kind woman named Dr. Lena who specialized in queer relationships. Sessions were raw, Emily unpacking years of suppressed identity, while Scout shared her fears of abandonment. Meanwhile, Eleanor's health declined. Doctors diagnosed early-stage dementia, her sharp mind fogging like a New England morning. Emily visited daily, helping with meals and medications, her heart torn between resentment and love. During one visit, as Eleanor dozed in her armchair, Emily flipped through the old photo album again. Faded black and whites showed a young Eleanor in the 1950s South, arm in arm with a striking woman named Clara, laughing, carefree, their eyes locked in a way that spoke volumes. "Who's Clara?" Emily asked when Eleanor woke. Her grandmother's eyes clouded. "An old friend. From before your grandfather." But the way she said it, with a tremor, hinted at more. Emily pressed gently, but Eleanor changed the subject. "Focus on your future, child. Not the past." The conflict escalated when Sarah, sensing vulnerability, pushed Eleanor to rewrite her will. "Emily's choices are hurting you, Grandma. Maybe it's time to protect the family assets." Sarah's motives were clear. She wanted the Harper estate, a sprawling house worth millions. Emily overheard their conversation one afternoon, her blood boiling. "You're manipulating her," she accused Sarah. The ensuing fight fractured the family further, with aunts and uncles taking sides. Amid the turmoil, Emily and Scout found solace in small moments. A picnic in Central Park, where Scout proposed a temporary move to San Francisco. Scout had a job offer at a progressive news outlet. "It's a chance for us, Em, to breathe." Emily hesitated, tied to Eleanor's care. "I can't leave her like this." Betrayal struck hard when Scout, frustrated by the endless delays, confided in a mutual friend about their struggles. The friend, unwittingly, mentioned it in a group chat that included Sarah. Sarah twisted the words, telling Eleanor that Scout was pushing Emily away from family. Eleanor, in a lucid moment, called Emily. "That girl is poison. End it, or you're no longer welcome here." Heartbroken, Emily confronted Scout. "Did you tell people about us?" Scout admitted. "I needed to vent. I'm sorry." The argument was fierce, words like daggers. "I feel like I'm competing with your grandmother's ghost," Scout yelled. Emily stormed out, wandering the streets of Brooklyn, rain soaking her through. She ended up at a queer bar, nursing a drink, when a familiar face approached. "Clara from the photos?" No, it was a coincidence, but the encounter sparked curiosity. Digging deeper, Emily used her Yale connections to research. Clara Thompson had been Eleanor's roommate at a women's college in Georgia. Old letters tucked in the album revealed passionate correspondence. "My dearest Ellie, the world may not understand, but my heart beats only for you." Emily's world spun. Her grandmother had been in love with a woman? The hypocrisy stung. Confronting Eleanor, Emily held up a letter. "What is this, Grandma? You tried to change me, but you..." Eleanor's face crumpled. "It was different then. We couldn't. I married your grandfather to survive." Tears flowed as Eleanor confessed. In the 1950s, societal pressure forced her to bury her feelings. Clara had moved away, married a man, and they lost touch. "I thought I was saving you from that pain," Eleanor whispered. The revelation deepened their bond, but complications arose. Sarah, learning of the letters, threatened to expose them to the conservative family circle. "This could ruin our reputation." Emily stood firm. "It's the truth. And it's beautiful." Scout, hearing of the discovery, returned with apologies. "I get it now. Your family's mess is part of you." As Eleanor's dementia worsened, she had moments of clarity where she and Emily talked openly. "I loved Clara more than life," Eleanor admitted one evening, as they watched the sunset from the porch. "Don't let fear steal your love." Emily held her hand, forgiveness blooming like spring flowers. But high drama peaked when Sarah, in a fit of rage, leaked the letters to a local gossip blog. The family erupted, calls from relatives, judgmental whispers. Emily shielded Eleanor, who retreated into confusion. Scout stepped up, using her journalism skills to counter the narrative with an op-ed. "Love Across Generations: A Family's Hidden Queer History." It went viral, drawing support from unexpected quarters. With the scandal simmering, Emily threw herself into advocacy. Inspired by Eleanor's story, she volunteered at an LGBTQ center in Manhattan, helping youth navigate coming out. Scout's op-ed opened doors, leading to interviews and a book deal proposal. "We could tell our story, yours and Grandma's," Scout suggested over coffee in a cozy Soho cafe. Emily nodded, excitement mingling with trepidation. It could help others. Eleanor's condition fluctuated. On good days she reminisced about Clara, her voice soft with nostalgia. "We danced under the stars once in a hidden meadow. No one knew." Emily recorded these tales, piecing together a lost romance. She tracked down Clara's daughter, who shared that Clara had passed years ago but always spoke fondly of Ellie. A package arrived. Old photos and a necklace Clara had given Eleanor, returned after decades. The emotional weight pressed on Emily. Nightmares plagued her, visions of Eleanor young and heartbroken, forced into a loveless marriage. Therapy helped, Dr. Lena guiding her through layers of generational trauma. "Your grandmother's actions came from her own pain," she said. Emily began to see Eleanor not as a villain, but a victim of her era. Conflict reignited when Sarah sued for guardianship over Eleanor, claiming Emily's unstable lifestyle made her unfit. The courtroom in Hartford was tense, lawyers arguing over assets and care. Emily testified, voice steady. "Grandma raised me with love even if misguided. Now I want to give that back." Scout sat in the gallery, her presence an anchor. The judge ruled in Emily's favor, citing Eleanor's lucid wishes documented earlier. Betrayal's sting lingered. Sarah, defeated, lashed out in a family email. "You've destroyed our legacy with your perversions." Emily replied calmly, "Love isn't perversion, it's human." The exchange severed ties, but Emily felt liberated. Romance rekindled with Scout amid the chaos. A weekend getaway to the Hamptons, waves crashing, sunsets painting the sky. They walked hand in hand on the beach, talking futures. "Marry me," Scout whispered one night under a blanket of stars. Emily's yes was tearful, joyous. They planned a small ceremony in Prospect Park, inviting queer friends and a few open-minded relatives. Eleanor's approval came in a rare, clear moment. "I'm proud of you, child. Live the life I couldn't." She gifted Emily the necklace from Clara, a symbol of enduring love. As spring bloomed, high drama unfolded at the wedding. Sarah showed up uninvited, cornering Emily before the ceremony. "This is wrong. Grandma would hate it." But Eleanor, wheeled in by a nurse, interjected. "No, Sarah. I was wrong before. Love is love." The words silenced the room, a pivotal shift. Sarah stormed out, but the moment healed old wounds. The vows were poetic, Emily promising Scout. "In a world that tried to break us, you mended my heart." Guests cheered, petals fluttering. Post-wedding, Emily and Scout honeymooned in California. Driving the Pacific Coast Highway, freedom in every mile. Back home, Eleanor's health plummeted. Hospital vigils became routine, Emily reading from the old letters. Clara wrote, "Our love will outlast the stars." Eleanor smiled faintly. "It did through you." The end neared on a quiet summer evening. Eleanor, surrounded by Emily and Scout, whispered her final words. "Forgive me." And love fiercely. She passed peacefully, hand in Emily's. Grief enveloped Emily, but Scout's support was unwavering. They scattered Eleanor's ashes in the Connecticut woods, near where she grew up. "She's free now," Emily said. In the aftermath, Emily discovered a hidden journal in Eleanor's attic, pages filled with unspoken longings, regrets, and a final entry. "My dear Emily, I see now that trying to change you was my greatest mistake. Your love with Scout mirrors what I lost. Carry it forward." The discovery brought closure but also a new mission. Emily and Scout co-authored a memoir, Hidden Hearts, A Grandmother's Secret Legacy, blending their story with Eleanor's. It became a bestseller, sparking conversations on queer history and family acceptance. Life after Eleanor's death settled into a rhythm of quiet triumphs. Emily and Scout's Brooklyn brownstone became a haven, filled with laughter, books, and the pitter-patter of their adopted toddler, Clara, named in honor of the past. Emily worked as a counselor at the LGBTQ Center, her experiences fueling empathy. Scout's career soared, her investigative pieces on queer rights earning awards. But echoes of conflict resurfaced when Sarah reappeared, years later, at a book signing for the memoir. Her face was lined, softened by time. "I read it," she said hesitantly. "I was wrong. About everything." Emily, surprised, invited her for coffee. Over lattes in a nearby diner, Sarah confessed her own struggles. A divorce, therapy, realizing her jealousy stemmed from unaddressed insecurities. Grandma's secret. It made me question my life. Reconciliation was tentative, but seeds were planted. The story's romance deepened with everyday magic. Anniversaries marked by rooftop dinners, overlooking the city skyline. Scout surprised Emily with tickets to a Broadway show about forbidden love, tears flowing as parallels hit home. "We've come so far," Emily whispered during intermission. Humanitarian elements shone through Emily's work. She founded a support group for queer elders, sharing Eleanor's tale to bridge generations. One participant, an octogenarian named Martha, shared, "I hid like your grandma, but seeing you gives me hope." Emily's heart swelled, the cycle of healing continuing. Drama flared briefly when a conservative group protested the memoir, calling it propaganda. Online trolls targeted Emily and Scout, but their community rallied. A viral TED Talk by Emily, unveiling family secrets, the power of queer truth, turned the tide, garnering millions of views. Personally, Emily grappled with motherhood's joys and fears. "What if Clara faces what I did?" she confided in Scout one night, rocking the baby. Scout kissed her forehead. "We'll teach her love without limits." Flashbacks to Eleanor's era haunted Emily, inspiring a documentary project. Collaborating with filmmakers, she retraced Clara and Eleanor's steps in Georgia, visiting the old college meadows where they danced. Locals shared stories. Those two were inseparable. Folks whispered but no one interfered. The film, Whispers of the South, premiered at Sundance, earning acclaim for its poignant portrayal of hidden lives. Betrayal's scars faded but lessons endured. Emily forgave Sarah fully when she attended Clara's first birthday, bringing a gift, a restored photo of young Eleanor and Clara. "For the family album," Sarah said. Hugs were exchanged, bridges mended. As Clara grew, Emily and Scout nurtured her with stories of resilience. Bedtime tales included The Brave Grandma Who Learned to Love, a sanitized version of their saga. Clara's innocent questions, "Why did great-grandma hide?" sparked deep conversations. The narrative's emotional core remained the love between Emily and Scout. Through storms, their bond proved unbreakable. A vow renewal on their 10th anniversary in the same park reaffirmed it. In sickness and health, through secrets and truths, they recited. Humanity prevailed in small acts. Volunteering at pride parades, mentoring youth, advocating for anti-conversion laws. Emily testified in D.C., her voice echoing Eleanor's regrets. "No one should be forced to deny their heart." In quieter moments, Emily visited Eleanor's grave, laying flowers. "Thank you for the truth, Grandma. It set us all free." The wind whispered back, a gentle affirmation. The story circled back to beginnings. Emily, now in her 40s, mentored a young woman much like her younger self, confused, pressured by family. "Love who you love," she advised. "The world changes one heart at a time." Scout in Emily's life was a testament to endurance. Picnics in the park, family trips to the coast, ordinary joys amplified by extraordinary history. Decades unfolded like pages in a well-worn book, Emily and Scout's story evolving into legend within their community. Clara grew into a confident teen, embracing her mom's legacy by leading her school's GSA. "I'm proud of where I come from," she declared at a family dinner, her eyes shining. Sarah became an unlikely ally, volunteering at the center Emily founded. Their relationship healed fully, shared holidays mending the rift. "I wasted years on bitterness," Sarah admitted over Thanksgiving turkey. Emily squeezed her hand. "We all did. But look at us now." The memoir's impact rippled outward. Adapted into a film, it won Oscars, with actresses portraying Emily and Eleanor in heart-wrenching scenes. Premieres brought tears and standing ovations, audiences moved by the human drama. Emily's advocacy took her global, speaking at conferences on queer rights. In Paris, she met descendants of similar hidden loves, bonds forming across cultures. "Love is universal," she said in her keynote, voice steady with experience. Romance never dimmed. For their silver anniversary, Scout planned a surprise trip to Georgia, revisiting the meadows. They danced under the stars, just as Eleanor and Clara had. "This is for them," Emily whispered, tears mingling with laughter. Climactic moments came subtly now. A health scare for Scout, reminding them of fragility. Emily nursed her through recovery, their love a quiet force. "You're my everything," Scout said from the hospital bed. Humanitarian depth defined their later years. They established a foundation funding queer history research, unearthing more stories like Eleanor's. Archives filled with letters, photos, testimonies to resilience. Betrayal's memory served as caution. When Clara faced bullying at school, Emily drew from the past. "Stand tall. Truth wins." Clara did, emerging stronger. The ending was bittersweet, as all profound tales are. In their 70s, Emily and Scout retired to a coastal home in Maine, waves lulling them. Clara visited with her partner, a woman embraced without question. "History doesn't repeat," Emily noted proudly. Eleanor's journal became a family heirloom, read aloud on quiet evenings. Its final pages inspired reflection. "May my mistakes light your way." As Emily's health waned, Scout held vigil, their hands intertwined. "We lived fully," Emily murmured. She passed peacefully, surrounded by love. Scout, grieving yet grateful, continued the work. At Emily's memorial, tributes poured in, letters from those touched by their story. "You showed us hope," one read. The legacy endured. "A world slightly kinder, love's less hidden." In the end, it was a story of redemption, not perfect but profoundly human. Love triumphed, secrets unveiled, hearts mended.